It's Wednesday, so it's time to check in on what's new in horror in comics coming out in shops this week. June 9th, 2021. Welcome back to ML Miller Frights. I'm ML Miller. Through our tedious lives, we press many important buttons, but if you could do me a favor and hit that like button down below, share this video with all your social media addicted pals, click subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to ring that bell for notifications. I'd be in your eternal debt. Here's what's new in comic shops in horror this week, June 9th, 2021. Perhapsanauts, Second Chances, #1, is from Scout Comics. The story is by Todd Dezago, and it's got art by Craig Rousseau. I read the original Perhapsanauts series a while back and had a blast with it. It's a team of American cryptids investigating other weird happenings. Sure, it's a bit like Hellboy, but still it's got a Bigfoot, a Mothman, a ghost, and a little chupacabra named Choopy. Choopy! I love it. This is lighthearted fun, but it's got my demented type of humor. Looking forward to this one. Swamp God #1 is from Heavy Metal. The story is by Ron Marz, and the art is by Paolo Armicano. Who says Swamp Thing and Man Thing get to have all the fun sloshing around in the swamp? This Swamp God has me intrigued. It's about a group of Confederate soldiers who call upon a god of the swamp to save the South during the Civil War. While this might just be a repurposed Swamp Thing script, it sounds like a whole lot of fun. Vampirella vs. Purgatori is from Dynamite Entertainment. The story is by Fawkes, and the art is by Alvaro Sarraseca. It's the battle of the Cheesecake Nightmares as the thong-wearing alien vampire Vampirella goes camel-toe to camel-toe with Brian Pulido's second most famous female monster creation, Purgatori. I haven't been following this series as closely as I should, as I usually try to keep up with all of Pulido's creations, Lady Death, Evil Ernie, and the like. But the description reads that this is when the kid gloves come off and Purgy and Vampy really start tearing into each other. Expect a plethora of variant covers for this one, all depicting stuff your mom will disapprove of. Bunny Mask #1 is from AfterShock Comics. The story is by Paul Tobin, and the art is by Andrea Mutti. The writer of Colder and the artist of Maniac of New York join forces to unleash unspeakable evil that has been buried for centuries. Somehow it's tied to the murder of a young girl. Tobin is a great writer with a skill for bringing out the wicked in all things. I'm looking forward to this new horror series that promises to be filled with all kinds of nightmarish imagery, doing dastardly things. Speaking of Maniac of New York, the 5th issue comes out this week. AfterShock Comics is publishing it. The story is by Elliott, Kalan, and the art is by Andrea Mutti. I believe this is the last issue of the series, and I've enjoyed it quite a bit. What I find interesting about this series is that it focuses on a rampaging mass murderer who seemingly appears and disappears immediately before and after he kills his victims. That's all well and good in the woods where there's plenty of places to hide, but in the middle of New York, it's a bit of a stretch that this hulking hockey-masked monster would be able to blend in, even among the oddballs that populate the New York streets. Still, this is the type of masked serial killer antics we didn't get with Jason Takes Manhattan, so I guess I'll enjoy the series simply because of that fact. Proctor Valley Road #4 is from Boom Studios. The story is by Grant Morrison and Alex Child, and the art is by Naomi Franquiz. While I wasn't blown away by the first issue, I think I'll give Proctor Valley Road a second chance, as I love me some Grant Morrison shenanigans. This story is about a haunted road with all kinds of grim and devilish things occurring alongside it. Issue 4 seems to focus on a particularly ghoulish bakery on the road, with the gals investigating all the weird happenings and paying the bakery a visit. It could be fun stuff. Finally, we have Babyteeth from AfterShock Comics. The story is by Donnie Cates, and the art is by Garry Brown. I missed the ship when it comes to following Babyteeth, but you can't get any hotter in comics right now than Donnie Cates, so if you're a fan, you're most likely already reading this story about the birth of the Antichrist and how that will hearken the end of times. This ongoing series is definitely a crowd pleaser, and a lot of people have recommended this one to me. One of these days I'll catch up with it. Do any of these comics intrigue you? Let me know what type of horror you like to read rather than see on the screen. Or is there a difference to you? Let's chat about it down in the comments. That'll be it for today. Please chime in down below in the comments and let me know how on the nose or mind-numbingly wrong I am, or you can counter with your own review. So guys, you know how YouTube works. I'd love to be able to dedicate more time to this channel. I'm not monetized yet, so if you want to help me out, remember to hit all the pertinent bells and whistles down below. Want some spooky comics to read? I have 2 new horror comic book trade paperbacks you should look out for. Both Gravetrancers and Pirouette, collecting never-before-published issues, can be found in only the finest of comic book shops. If you're looking for written reviews, you can find them on my website, mlmillerwrites.com. If you really want to show your support, I also have a Patreon page at mlmiller. Look for the link to my Patreon page down below. Thank you so much for your time, and take care.
You're doomed to live the life you're meant to be, stuck inside your reality. You're